Ladies and gentlemen, we are right on time for Euro Trip Racing at Paul Ricard. My name is Adam Thursby. Thank you so much for joining me. You can call me Molson FL. I appreciate every one of you being here to watch these guys get a little casual, quick racing in on a Monday. Hope everyone had a great start to their work week. Mine was fantastic. Things breaking, blowing up, all kinds of problems that were all solved by noon because I'm on top of it. And then we get going, ready to go. And I'm hearing chime offs in the PC channel, which sounds to me like it means we're going to be ready here in just a moment. So again, I hope everyone had a great and fantastic Monday. It is the start of the week, but that does bring us back to Euro Trip, and today we're going to Paul Ricard. So today we're going to get a little bit of a preview, actually, because this coming Sunday's regular PC Season 2 race is also at Paul Ricard. It's going to be an endurance race, 90 minutes. So today you're going to get a 30-minute preview of what that could look like. Obviously some different drivers on track, but still, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Let's just get this brought up. G. Steven in the chat, thank you so much for being here, my man. We'll tell all your friends to join us today. 10-minute free practice, 15 minutes of qual with a 30-minute race. The drivers are lining up. I got to get my software running if it'll do what it's supposed to do, which is always fantastic. As everyone starts heading out at Paul Ricard, let's take a quick look at that track map. Paul Ricard, a very long track, not one of my favorites. And I think I've said this before. The reason I don't like Paul Ricard is not so much the corners or anything. It's so flat. And you can see what I mean as we follow Will, just because he was who was selected out of the pits. I mean, the going live announcement said parking lot, track for a reason. It is dead flat. There's no hills, there's no bumps. Track limit's very tight. You have to be careful. Lots of runoff room, but you better hold on to your brakes because you're not hitting gravel where it's going to bring the car back a little bit. You're staying on pavement the whole time. So again, long straight stretch, lots of opportunity for passing on this track, but just so flat that it's not something I myself can get into. But again, just a quick 10-minute free practice here. Allow the guys to get their tires warmed up, get used to the track temperatures. I think we're going to have a very sunny race today. No problems. We're seeing 18C ambient with a 21C track temp. We get flipped over to the full race cam. Plenty of drivers on track today, though. Will Green there. Speaking of Mr. Steven in the chat, there he is. Still sitting in the pits, has decided, you know what? I don't need any practice. I'm fast enough as it is. Nils Brewer returns this week. Paco Lara as well in his Ferrari, back out on track. Zbroja just now rolling out of the pits. Daniel Pickett. There is that very fancy Porsche. Let me know, Pickett, if it is now showing up properly. I hope so. I did load it in right before the race, so you should be good to go. Right there with him, George Garton, who we watched yesterday have some great battles at Brands Hatch, comes back today to run Euro League. Joseph Scott still hanging out in the pits for now. Fabio Santamaria on the fast stretch. We get to look at empty track as we watch Fabio head down, and right there with him in his Esper car today, Tobias Gable returns. We watched Tobias yesterday as well struggle a little bit at Brands. Hopefully has a bit more luck today at Paul Ricard. Bryn Evans back with us. Slowing things up, getting the tires warm, ready for a few quick laps here in free practice. Lucas Smoke in the McLaren. Revis, thank you so much. I know you show up for my silky smooth voice, don't lie. The racing's an excuse. You just come to listen to me talk. I get it. I listen to myself talk all the time. It's fantastic. Best conversations I ever have are with myself. Adam Neal, AJ Racing, back on track today. Along with James Plummer. Delengo, still sitting in the pits, but back with us. Always good to see. Tony Green returns. The Green Senior. I always love it when Tony and Will are around. We got to get those guys on in the commentary booth more often, I think. It's fun to talk to both those guys and the racing that Will has done and that Tony's been there for. I think it's a lot of fun to have those conversations. Torbjorn Rasmussen Another McLaren. A lot of McLarens on track today. So many McLarens. I didn't listen to Gable's audio file. He sent me one specifically for this series because I was struggling. If you look at that name, no doubt very Greek. Looks very Greek, but I'm gonna screw it up. I have a Greek friend. I should call him. He will help me with that. John Gray. Gray GT Racing. Again, another McLaren. We're seeing a lot of them. Jay Reed from Reed Racing returns. Bertold Limpar. 25 drivers out today for a casual league on a Monday. This is absolutely fantastic. I love seeing this many guys come out. And again, these aren't all drivers from our regular season. Some of these folks don't run in the regular season. Some do. I'd say it's about a 50-50, right? Actually, not even. I'm trying to look here just as a rough count. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe. We're talking about, out of 25 drivers, really only about 7 to 10 of these guys run during our regular PC season that goes on Sundays. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's take a look. Konrad Wisłocki returns back to the pits. Nikolai Sibuk, again, back with us today. Dave Alvarez Jr., always a favorite in my book because he's in the Audi. We're getting a new Audi later this week or next week, whenever that new pack drops. Can't wait for an updated Audi. Maximilian Loeffler, it's in box 24 in the Ferrari with us as well. We'll take a quick look during this free practice, about 4 minutes left to go, just to see what kind of times we're seeing here at Paul Ricard. So our low end 156s to the high end of 2 minutes right now. A wide spread, but again, free practice. These guys are going to get a full 15 minutes in qual, and I'll be curious to see what kind of times we get. But 156, already starting to get very tight at the top with Santa Maria, Lara, and Will Green all in that sub 157 category. And our purple sectors spread out amongst our top 3 as well. So we could end up with a lot of fun today on track. That. Come on, man. Killing me, Smalls. You should have brought him over. We always welcome him here at Box 3 Motorsports. But just having you here, Zap, is good enough for me. You're a wonderful human being. Revis wants me to read the phone book. I could try it. Do they make phone books anymore? I haven't had a phone book in my house in probably 7 years. So wait here. I'm just giving a moment to see if Santa Maria, currently our leader here in the practice session, is going to stay out, and it looks like he is. So let's go on board. A lap at Paul Ricard with Santa Maria. Already says new Audi is amazing. Got an early test. Fantastic. Now I just have to wait for somebody to come up with better setups than what I could ever do by myself. Wing to pull up. I need all the downforce I can get, and don't hit any curbs. That's all you need to know about an Audi. Hopefully Santa Maria able to get some clear air here so we can kind of watch this lap go through. Bit of a tour of Paul Ricard. Hammer down on that back straight. It is a long one. I think that's where most of our alien class drivers take a nap. Again, 3/10 up on his fastest speed so far. You can see up there in the right-hand corner now 4/10, but a bit of a slide. Oh, and gonna burn the lap right there as that timer goes red. The shame, he was certainly carrying some speed through and gonna get himself down right above that 155 mark. There you go. That is a lap at Paul Ricard. Just goes to show, though, even with the slide, Santa Maria very consistent on that lap, landing right about where he was before. So right now, with 30 seconds to go in our free practice, Santa Maria and Lara both up front with 2 Ferraris leading the pack. Will Green right there in the Mercedes, though. Our top 3 all sub 156. Everyone else falling in behind thus far. We will see what kind of action qualification brings us here starting in just a few minutes. But as we wait for qualification to come around, folks, we talked about it a minute ago. PC Season 2 continues this coming Sunday at Paul Ricard, March 27th, 7 p.m. UTC. It should be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. It might be 3. Don't quote me on that. I have to look it up because it gets confusing and I cry. But we're coming back to Paul Ricard for a full endurance race. 90 minutes of racing at Paul Ricard this coming Sunday. You can catch that right here at Box3 Motorsports. And as I always like to say, thank you so much to Next Level Racing and Coach Dave Academy, our Pro Class champ this season, winning an FGT Light racing chair. And if that thing's anything, look, I won't lie. I have a Pro Seat Challenge. That's what I race on. But I've always wanted to try one of these because it's very similar, right? It's for those people that don't have the space for a full-size rig like I don't. I still have 2 kids in my house. So something like this is perfect for folks that need to be able to pick things up, put it away. That in media server world, what we used to call the, and I don't know if other communities use this, what we used to call the wife acceptance factor, right? It's there, you can race, and I can put it away when I need to. So Pro Class Champ's going to take one of those home after the end of Season 2. Our Silver Class Champ this season, from Coach Dave Academy, a complete car setup bundle, and our most improved driver, as voted on by the community, will get a complete track map bundle. So again, thank you to both of those, to both Coach Dave Academy and Next Level Racing for their sponsorship of this season. And although I cannot be here next week, okay, I won't be able to cover Monday races for a little while. Maybe I might be back. Maybe it's only a week off, maybe 2. I'm going to try and work something out. My wife has taken a new position. She'll be working from out of the house, and I won't be able to cover races at the same time she's working. But our Euro Trip season continues next week at Monza, March 28th. If you're the type of driver who maybe doesn't want to go full in on a competitive season, again, as you see right there, this is a casual event every Monday, 15-minute qual, 30-minute race. Come out and have some fun with the league, okay? Because that's what it's all about, is getting out. And even our regular season is about having fun, getting on track with these guys, and just having a good time. But again, the regular season very competitive, so maybe that's not for you. This Euro Trip season is perfect, and I hope we do more of these events upcoming. We have some great announcements coming out in the league soon about endurance races and everything else. I can't wait for this stuff to start to come together. And if you happen to be an Xbox driver, we still run our Xbox League this week. We got 2 races left, Barcelona and Mount Panorama. And even if you're in our current series, announcements coming soon, or really polls for Season 2. We're a community-run league, and we will be asking questions what you guys want to do for Season 3. It's coming up quick. Only 2 races left this coming Saturday at Barcelona for an endurance race. That's 2 hours of racing on Xbox. So we jump back in with 13 and a half left to go in qualification out of 15. No time set as of yet. Steven Brewer, Lara still in the pits along with Rasmussen and Loeffler. We'll wait for those guys to come out. But right now, Daniel Pickett, the gravel addict, will not find much gravel to drive through at Paul Ricard. Will Green now hitting that first hot lap. Again, 25 drivers joining us today. A nice full grid for Paul Ricard. And watching Will right now just because he's one of the faster drivers. We saw that during our free practice, but hats off to Will. He's the one that had organized this series, the Euro Trip series. Has done a great job putting this together, allowing casual racing to really take hold here at Box 3 and get more people involved. So hopefully this continues as something we can keep doing in the future after this first season is over. So Will, one of the first ones out of the pit box, right up front, setting a 155.4. You see it up there on the left-hand side of your screen. And we will wait for more times to come in. Daniel Pickett setting a time of 157.3 in his Porsche. Shalengo now jumping up that 156.4. Neil, Limpar, Smoke, all setting times. Curious there, and I'm always curious when I see these things. I want to bring it up real quick to show everybody. I mean, Smoke holding purple in sector 2, so it makes you curious how much more these times are going to tighten up. He's 3.7 off the pace, but was the fastest out through sector 2. But let's see how long that lasts, right? Tobias Gable now pushing up into second, just 0.6 off the pace. Still, Will Green so far are only 155 of this qualifying session. And we have our first 154, just as I say it. Konrad Wisłocki with a 154.1. Enough to push Will Green 1.2 off the pace. Now, remember, we only saw 3 155s during the free practice. And now Wisłocki banging out with the 154. We'll have to see how long that holds, that he's the only one in there. Lara now with another 155 coming in. Will Green not going to be stifled though. 155.2, jumping himself back up into second. Again, thus far, Wisłocki sitting at 154. Will Green, Lara, and Zbroja 155s. We go back down to Tobias Gable, 156.1. He's currently 0.4 off his fastest pace, so we'll see if that gets any tighter. But Shalengo, 156.4, currently about half a second up on his fastest time. And getting higher. We'll see if he's able to close that gap and give himself a few more spaces here off of this lap. Right behind him also Alvarez Jr. in the Audi, currently sitting 7th. Just set a new lap. 156.5 right there. We'll jump back to Shalengo. See, again, about half a second up on his fastest. We'll see if that lap holds. Wisłocki now into the pits. holding purple in all three sectors, extended that lead down to a 1.541. So Shalengo now only showing about a 10th faster, holding on to 6th, but Tobias Gable up there in 5th with a 156.1. So about a 0.3 gap there. But so far, nobody. And Santa Maria getting close now, down to the 154 mark, joining Wislocky with a 154.9, just squeaking in under the line. Still 0.7 off the pace. Laura's right there as well, 155.062. Wislocky, Santa Maria both into the pits and now back out. Make some adjustments. Santa Maria taking Sector 3 purple with a 32.062, 0.3 faster than Wislocky. And I gotta say, very happy right there. He's in the pits now, looking maybe to come back out with 5 minutes left to go. But Bryn Evans getting himself up into 5th. Obviously, Paul Ricard, a very strong track for him. He joins the 155 club. So great to see right there. As we check in on Garton. Garton doing very well at Brands Hatch yesterday with our regular season. Now currently sitting in 10th. Loeffler currently sitting P12 with a 156.9. But again, that 155 range got extended out just a little bit from what we saw from the free practice. We're showing now, you know, 4 drivers from Paco Lara down to Zroja, all sitting in that sub 156 area. Tobias Gable, our first 156 with a 156.1. But we always watch qualifying all the way to the end. We see those changes come in at the last moment. Somebody finds time. We're watching it right now with Smoke. Smoke running just a little bit faster than his current fastest of a 156.9. We'll see if he can gain some time here coming towards the end of qualification. Shalengo now 0.4 up on his fastest, currently sitting in 8th. Shalengo right now up almost a little over half a second, but has burnt the lap, unfortunately. We take a look at those big red digits up in the corner. And that's a shame, gaining half a second, but not able to capitalize off of it. Bryn Evans as well, gaining about a 10th right now. Just about 2 minutes left to go in today's qualifying session. We'll be here for a 30-minute race directly afterwards. I do want to thank everybody in chat for joining me today. Exclamation box in the chat if you are not currently a member of Box3 Motorsports and think you want to get into GT3 racing. Along with other fun activities, we have a small group of folks that do iRacing. There's a small group of folks that do Assetto Corsa, so do different mods and races over there. Nothing league sponsored, but certainly folks get together. Again, we're a community first, we're sim racers second. That's the kind of stuff we love to see, even if it's not an organized league race. To see folks getting together, having a lot of fun, enjoying their time, and spending time together as we watch the cones go flying. Take a look at Wisłocki again, though, because, and I want to bring up that time because right now, 3/10 up, he would be our first 153 of the day, and our only 153 of the day if he can complete this lap clean. And he is certainly pushing, and wow, that stayed green. Looked like he was way off track there, but somehow keeps it green. All of our top 10 right now that are on track are running in the green with their laps. So we may have some toss-ups right here at the end. If Wisłocki can get some clean air in front of him, he's going to suck almost a second off of his fastest time of a 154.1. And right there, drivers giving him some clean air to try and finish this lap. Let's watch as he comes across the line. Not quite 7/10, but there it is, our first 153 of the day. Still not holding purple in Sector 2. Santa Maria still owning that, but brings it down to a 153.5 over Santa Maria, who again is your current Sector 2 purple holder. Thank you, Revis, for that. Revis, while you're at it, exclamation point shop in the chat if you want to look as cool. Like if you just want to be total swag, exclamation point shop in the chat and you can get that sweet Box3 merchandise. 100% of those proceeds go back to spinning up servers, supporting the league. Plus you get to look cool. I don't have my hoodie on today, or I would show it off. I would totally show it off, but I don't have that on me today since I'm coming right out of work. Santa Maria now about 2/10 off his fastest pace with qualifying coming to an end. Let's take a look at our times again. Wisłocki, the only driver today to hit that sub 154 point with a 153.5. Absolutely fantastic driving. But Santa Maria much stronger, right? Well, not anymore. Not much stronger in Sector 2. He was about 3/10 up when we looked earlier. Now holding it by 1/100th of a second. So very equally matched here, even with that distance. We're gonna have to see if Wisłocki can hold on into T1 and maintain. And we'll get those times back up so we can go through everything. But there you have it for qualifying. Wisłocki gonna share row 1 with Santa Maria, Lara Ingrini in row 2, Evans, Broja row 3, Alvarez Jr. and Shalengo row 4, with Garton and Pickett sharing row 10. A great turnout from Pickett today in the Porsche, getting himself in the top 10 to start this race. That is your top 10. Loeffler and Smoke going to share row 6. Neal and Gray side by side, as Tony Green and Limpar share row 8. Reed and Brewer row 9. Matriitis and Plumer row 10. Rasmussen Scott row 11, with Steven Seabrook in row 12. Tobias Gable disqualified. Hopefully, TG, we can get that cleared for you. That was on purpose. Well, I hope not, but I hope we can get it cleared out for you, as you want to start from the back of the pack and you're still able to race today. Bryn. I saw your team name, Ryan. I saw it. And I shook my head for a second and said, you know what? I'm okay with that. Thank you for that, Revis. Much appreciated. Again, if you want to look cool while you're racing, that's where you go. Right there to the shop. We wait for today's race to get started. Again, 30 minutes, no pit stop requirement. We are straight out racing at Paul Ricard. No need to dive into the pits on a 30-minute track. For those of you racing today that might be watching on the side, or anybody who is going to be racing this coming Sunday, I can tell you that this evening, I know of at least one person is going to probably be hitting the practice server at Paul Ricard. I may join in as well. And again, we're community first, we're sim racer second. So being able to just hang out, practice for an upcoming race together, laugh, have a good time, and keep it clean, that's what we're all about. So feel free to join us. Again, if you're not a member, link's right up there in the chat. Hit that Discord. Come join us for some great GT3 racing at Box3 Motorsports. EG. Just don't wait people out. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Why do I have a gap? So again, 30 minutes of racing today at Paul Ricard. Track temperatures holding, sunny skies for the next 30 minutes. The track temp of 20°C. Given the time of day, 6:20 in the afternoon. We shouldn't see too much of a temperature change between now and the end of the race. EG looking for that last to first run. We'll see if he can make it happen. But Wisłocki, very, very fast. Again, we'll bring those times up just to show him. Oh, and it doesn't show me the times. I can't. But I'm telling you, look, the only 153 on track today. Right, if I go back to qualifying, it's not going to show me. Apologies, I tried. Ooh, excuse me. Box 3 pubs and practice are the best fun I've had in sim racing. We have a great time. We have a great time getting together to race. And that's really what it's all about. Alvarez Jr. sitting there in 7th right now. My Audi right there in the top 10. Absolutely fantastic. Great to see T-Book back out with us. G. Stevens starting from P22. I'm expecting great things from him today. Always does very well. Tobias Gable no longer at the end of the track, but Demetriadis going to be right behind him. So easy does her, TG. You do have someone behind you now. Roja up there in P6. We get ready for the formation lap for today's race. Neil starting from the pits. Top 10 with a little luck. I could see that. Look, the biggest hope is always at the start of these races. And look, you know, we give a lot of guys give each other a hard time in the Discord after a race. Not terrible. We don't allow, you know, nobody's allowed to go off, no personal attacks. We don't allow any of that. But a lot of guys give each other a hard time. And I think what gets lost, and this is why I always say, and we as any of the admins will tell you, we're a community first, we're sim racer second, is because the nervousness every week is T1, lap 1, how much of a show is it going to be? And the thing is, if you look at the real world, you know, GT3 racing, lap 1, T1 on some tracks can absolutely be a show. So to expect sim racers, people who do this for a hobby, not as a living, you know, not as a job, and who have done it in younger age, maybe they're younger age now, maybe they're middle age like myself, who have never driven a real race car, right? I think sometimes we hold ourselves to too high a standard. Sometimes. I'm not saying it should be dangerous and people should be wiping each other out. I'm just saying, you know, take it easy on each other and let's have a clean race. Again, Wisłocki up front very fast on this qualification. Our only 153 today. Santa Maria not far behind, held purple in sector 2, but not by much. We will see if they can catch up, along with Lara, Evans, and Green in our top 5. So we'll see if Wisłaki's going to be able to run away with this up front, or if we get ourselves a race right out of the gate. But remember, we're only here for 30 minutes. No mandatory pit stop, which means nothing to split up traffic. You are out there with who you are racing with the whole time. And hopefully quite clean as well. Long formation laps are the best formation laps. Our driver's now starting to head into double file, getting ready for the green flags to fly. On board with Santa Maria. We get lined up onto the straight. Time to go racing. The timer's going to start 30 minutes. Green light, and here we go racing at Paul Ricard. Santa Maria very quickly tucking in behind Wisłaki. Opening the door for Will Green. Will able to move himself up from 5th, now running in 3rd. Tight through T1, but clean thus far. As we take a jump back, all of our drivers maintaining very good, very tight, very clean racing. And yeah, there goes my thing. And there he is, Wisłaki pulling ahead very quickly though, getting room. We get some door banging going on through the corner. Bryn Evans now up into 3rd, just like that, as Roja drops back. Santa Maria falls back as well. Bryn Evans sitting in 3rd. Lara able to jump up into 2nd. Will Green we saw jump out to 3rd off the start, but then falls back. Currently now sitting in 6th as Alvarez Jr. pushes up alongside both him and Zbroja. And already we've got a battle going. Alvarez Jr. able to move up, but the battle right now becomes between Green and Zbroja. Green taking advantage for now. But Will Green all in one lap. Starts in 5th, rolls himself up to 3rd, then back down to 6th now. So obviously a lot of competition out there. As Alvarez continues to lead, but Zbroja right there applying pressure. Looking for the inside track. Oh, and that is a tight formation coming across that start-finish line. In some worlds, that is what we would call nut to butt. As we head back into T1. Let's take a look at off the back end of Alvarez Jr.'s Audi as Will Green looks to make the pass up the side. Will Green nudging ahead into the corner, able to take it cleanly. Alvarez sliding back and conceding that position, not looking to give up yet though. But some fantastic hard racing in the first 2 laps here at Paul Ricard today. 30 minutes on track. That is nothing but a sprint race, especially with no pit stop. And there we see it there. Alvarez Jr. looking to take that spot back. He's claiming that speed, that straight line speed, and pulled more out of the corner on that long straight. And we've got a spin right there. Bryn Evans off track now, losing position. Loeffler as well joins him in the yellow back there, but we're going to keep our eyes right here as now Will Green is Roja able to get advantage on Will. And a little bit of door bang is Roja conceding that. It looks like conceding that position. He saw the door bang. He realized what it was, concedes that position back to Will Green. Take a jump back real quick though. Loeffler and Plummer. Loeffler having gone off track, losing a bunch of positions. Now Plummer looking to get ahead as well. Oh, and a bump push there. Everybody trying to back down. And now it's going to get curious as we're going to go 2x2 down into T1. We're going to keep it right here. Tony Green right there with these guys. Plummer, Gable, Loeffler, Brewer, Scott, all coming down into T1 together. Oh my. Tony Green now leading this pack. But again, he's not alone. Plummer, Loeffler, Gable, Brewer, Scott, and Seabrook all right there. Scott and Seabrook playing together back in the back of this pack. Plummer now taking position from Green. Green the senior, I should say, but Loeffler right there looking to capitalize off that corner two, down the long straight. He's got the draft. Can Loeffler make a move before we get down to the end? How many moves is he going to make? That's the question. We're going to go 3 wide. And again, a little door banging. Rubbin's racing as we go down into the corner. And again with a 2x2. 3x2? What are we going to call that? So Tobias Gable able to move ahead now on the back end of Tony Green. As we watch here, Plummer and Brewer continue to play. Tobias Gable able to get around Green as we go tight, and again, more door banging. Oh, it's a hard race today, but everybody keeping it on track. Little bit of scrapping, but nothing they can't handle. Loeffler again continues to remain under the pressure of this group, and we've got to pull back to that helicam just so we can see everybody. And we've got Bad pushing in the back though. That's not good as Scott gets spun. So after that lap, Loeffler comes out good with Tobias Gable right there on his heels. Brewer currently sitting P12 with Plummer and Tony Green in chase. And then another gap back to Limpar, Steven, and Rasmussen. Brewer able to sneak around Tobias Gable. Tobias losing 2 positions there very quickly. Now Loeffler and Brewer are going to battle. Brewer just doesn't seem like Brewer has the speed out of the corner in that Porsche, but is very quickly being caught by Plummer and Gable. And Tony Green is right there with him. Pull that camera out again as Daniel Pickett up front is yellow flagged though. These guys need to watch coming up. Oh, and a slide there. Tobias going way wide. And now Green and Brewer about to battle. Tony going wide, giving the opening to Brewer, able to take that spot again with a little door bang. Tobias Gable there looking to capitalize as well. You guys are so tight, but there's so many of them. We got to keep that camera pulled out, try and catch it all. And another push and a bump there. Was that a push, or did he run into him and spin himself? Go back and take a check on Plummer real quick. Did he get knocked, or did he do the knocking? Nope, he got knocked. Very unfortunate. But again, Tony Green currently leading. We've seen this before as Tobias Gable sneaks by just as we catch up with the live action. Alvarez Jr., we need to jump up here. Alvarez Jr. losing position to Will Green. Now Will and Roja going to go to it. Alvarez not content. We're going 3 wide again. Oh, it gets exciting during sprint races, folks. Keep it tuned right here. Another battle up front for P4. Alvarez able to keep it tight and keep ahead. As again, Roja and Green are gonna door bang. These guys have been trading paint back and forth throughout the entirety of the first 10 minutes of this race. Jump back here though. Tobias Gable has now opened up. The man in our chat was not lying. Top 10 with a little luck, and now he is sitting right there in P10. He's made it with a pass on Brewer and Green and opened up a bit of a gap, but we've got to stick right here for P4. Alvarez currently leading with Green and Zroja close behind. Green with the speed right up the line. Both drivers looking to push that brake point as far as possible. Our first 10 minutes down, and it has been nothing but action so far. Alvarez now with a bit of a gap. All of them spreading out just a little bit on the back straight. Not far behind him though, Smoke. Lucas Smoke from POD Racing. Under a little bit of pressure from Pickett. We'll see if Daniel can close that gap up just a tad. But again, Tony Green continues his love affair with Limpar. Now Limpar and Seabook. Gable and Brewer and Steven all able to get around. But Limpar very quickly closing up the straight. And Limpar able to get around him. Plummer now into the pits. Who was running in 4th. Or was he? No. It's the software being weird. Ignore me, please. And Pickett has in fact been able to close up. Let's go jump up front here for P7 right now. Daniel Pickett behind the McLaren of Lucas Smoke. Pickett to the inside and not quite though. Does Pickett have the straight line speed? Did he bring enough with him out of that corner? Looks towards the inside of Smoke. Such a fast right-hander coming off the end of this straight. This is not your typical corner where you can say long straight. If they're side by side, the guy on the inside's definitely going to have it. It's such a fast corner coming off of there that it's really anybody's game. But Pickett continues to hold the inside. So far, Smoke able to contend a little bit quicker with that outside line. And now we start the trading back and forth. Oh, and right there, Smoke going very wide, losing a little bit of control. Daniel Pickett able to sneak by, giving himself P7. Let's check back in with Loeffler now leading Tobias Gable. Gable keeping it tight. We've definitely lost drivers as we're down to 20 still on track today, but right now Maximilian Loeffler looking to hold Tobias Gable at bay. Gable starting at the back of the pack, as promised in chat, getting himself into a top 10, and now we get to watch some more side-by-side action. Tobias sneaking by very quickly, claiming P9. Uh-oh. But it's starting again. Alvarez and Green. P4 has traded hands between Alvarez, Green, and Roja. P4 has traded hands, I think, about 7 times in the first half of this race today. And there goes Will Green, putting himself back into 4th. Roja having to be content to sit back and watch as Alvarez looks to close that gap back up. Take a quick jump back though. Tony Green able to get himself up into P13 here on the back straight. The back end of Brewer. Carrying a lot of speed down the straight, easily able to make that pass. Green the junior now though, solidly in 4th, but Brewer and Seabuk, we got to jump back here again because Tony Green now leading a group of Brewer, Seabuk, and Rasmussen. Our battle may come back here, though. Seabuk and Rasmussen. But both need to be watched as Brewer closes in the back end of Tony Green. As you see up there, Wisłocki now leading by a little over a 10-second gap from Paco Lara in 2nd, Santa Maria in 3rd, still 1.5 off of Lara's pace. Will Green now, with all the battling, and we're going to have to jump back up here soon, but with all the battling with Alvarez and Roja, now 12 seconds off the pace of Santa Maria sitting in 3rd. So Wisłocki, Lara, and Santa Maria, it is their race to lose at this point and drop podium. We're going to continue to keep a close eye up front. Paul Ricard, one of those tracks where you've got to keep the camera pulled back to see everything that's going on. But some fantastic driving today, some great battles, door bangs all around. We like to see that. That's not bad, as long as everyone keeps control and stays on track. Some really strong racing from our drivers in our Euro Trip series today at Paul Ricard. Alvarez Jr. now, bit of a gap up to Will Green, not quite able to keep it as tight as he was before. And as Roja, now 2 seconds off the pace. He was playing with Alvarez and Green for the entire front half of this race and is now backed off, opening that gap up just a bit. But what are the chances? Green Jr. and Senior both in battles today during this race. Brewer, Seabook, and Rasmussen now able to close that gap. Will Green stretching it out almost a second over Alvarez. We can take our eyes away from there just a little bit. But again, this 2x2 battle we've got going on. Seabook trying to keep Rasmussen at bay. Keeping an eye on on Pickett and Smoke. That gap now closed to under a second. Rasmussen falling back a bit off Seabook, but now Green under pressure from both Brewer and Seabook. Brewer looking to the outside. Is it going to clear space? Because Seabook has that draft, right? Is he going to be able to pull up alongside? But no, Tony Green on the inside. Oh, and a spin right there from Brewer. Let's go back and take a look and see. Was there a tap of any kind? It looked like a good gap between them right there, so I don't know. But no, right there's a tap from Seabook that would have pushed Brewer off track. You always hate to see it. Now Rasmussen ahead of Neal. Take a check in on Pickett and Smoke. Bare Necessities in the chat. That is my man right there. Personally, not as a league, but personally, me, Molson, Adam. That's my boy Bear. Everybody say hello. Welcome him in. Pickett and Smoke now are current battle, with everything having broken up a little further back. Brewer and Neal both into the pits, quickly losing position there. Pickett doing very well for himself today. We saw a little bit of a spin earlier, but currently holding P7, has had a fantastic race thus far. It must be the new livery. That very fancy, chromy purple Porsche. He drives a Porsche and he continually picks P words to put with his livery. First it was the pink pig Porsche, now it's the purple Porsche. That boy ain't right. Smoke looking for any opportunity for Pickett to give him. Another battle shaping up though. Loeffler and Steven right now. That closed in very quick. Loeffler struggling, having some sort of struggle, as that gap closed very quickly between himself and G. Steven for P10. Ferrari versus McLaren. We'll see if Steven can get himself into the top 10 before the end of this race. Just over 7 minutes left today. So our top 6 at this point, very well established. Wisłocki continues to lead, now opening that gap to 13 seconds over Lara. Santa Maria there sitting in third. Will Green still 12 seconds back from Santa Maria, but now has opened up over Alvarez by 5 seconds, so I don't see that closing up anytime soon. Alvarez currently sitting in fifth. Zroja 2 seconds back from Alvarez, with now this battle between Pickett and Smoke being the next one we want to keep an eye on today. But again, Loeffler and Steven running very close for P10. Green and Rasmussen looking to get into it for P15 as well. Or I'm sorry, P14. Steven playing very calm there, looked for a gap and couldn't quite find it. Thank you, Rivas. Remember, folks, if you want to look as cool as I do, gotta hit that shop link. A drive-through now for Zrozha. We said at the beginning of this race, track limits at Paul Ricard are gonna get somebody. And it looks like Zrozha is the one they grabbed first. And suddenly it doesn't say that anymore, and I don't know why. He must have cleared it. But now that brings him back to P9, allowing Tobias Gable to jump up. I missed the pit indicator, so that was on me. But Loeffler and Steven continue to battle. Again, Green and Rasmussen, we're keeping an eye a little further back at P14 for a battle between Tony Green, Green Sr., and Rasmussen. Right now, though, Steven looking for that opportunity. He's getting... Oh, and right there is not the opportunity he was looking for as things get very tight very quick. Steven able to take the position, but not in a way we like to see. Loeffler now sitting P11. We'll see if Steven slows it up. But now Loeffler's going to be under pressure from Limpar and Siabuk as they close in due to that incident. Limpar pulling up alongside. And there it is right there. Limpar able to take that position from Loeffler. We'll see if he can hold it through the inside of this corner, but no, Loeffler pulling ahead. They're going to trade. But Limpar able to claim it in the end. But right there behind him, Siabuk is anxiously awaiting his opportunity as well. Berthold Limpar. And more door banging and a slide there. Loeffler goes off. Limpar goes off. Siabuk surviving, getting through. Green and Rasmussen both getting through. And they're in their own battle, but able to having to sneak through, having to find a way through traffic. Limpar and Loeffler both dropping position right there. Tony Green, Siabuk just ahead of Tony right now with Tony Green leading Rasmussen. This is our new 3-car pack after that incident just a few seconds ago with 3 minutes left to go today. Tony holding on for dear life. Looking to keep P12, but right there it happens. Rasmussen now alongside. We've seen this before. Again, this fast right-hander is very deceptive. And another push. Rasmussen taking one from Limpar. Pushing through the corner. Tony Green with a little less pressure behind him now. And Rasmussen and Limpar continue to battle back here. Rasmussen the winner on that exchange, but Limpar is right there. It's McLaren versus McLaren. We are going to go side by side into T1 like it's lap 1. With only a minute and a half left to go. Again, this is sprint racing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens. Loeffler now catching up as well. He's going to close that gap as Rasmussen and Limpar continue to battle here at the end of the race. Less than a minute to go. We're looking at one more lap here. Keeping an eye up front. Daniel Pickett doing very well. Currently sitting in 6th, but Smoke closing that gap. We'll be keeping an eye up there as well. And again, it's McLaren versus McLaren down the straight. Limpar to the inside. Limpar with the speed out of that corner and a little bit of draft says he's going to go into this corner first, but he doesn't have the inside. Luckily this time no push. Loeffler catching up and sliding in the back, so Loeffler going to lose time there. Able to hold on, but just barely. We saw that slide in the background. Rasmussen stretching out a bit, but Limpar and Loeffler there now. And they're going to go around one more time. But there's your race leader, and Smoke now off track. Whoa, let's go back and take a look. Smoke and Pickett, I've been watching this one because they've been running so close. Not quite getting within that range, and right there, Smoke taking himself for a toss, so no longer in contention. Pickett able to open the gap to 3.6. And there, Wisłocki crosses the line, 16 laps deep. Your winner at Paul Ricard for round 3 of Euro Trip. Paco Lara closes in, Santa Maria right there behind, and there is your podium, Wisłocki, Lara, and Santa Maria. But we're going to keep our eyes right here as Rasmussen and Limpar continue to battle. Once again, we head down the back straight with two McLarens side by side. Limpar able to take position. P13 is going to be a battle to the end. Will Green in 4th. Alvarez Jr. in 5th. Finishing out their race. Daniel Pickett and Smoke finishing 6th and 7th respectively as folks continue to cross the line. Tobias Gable looking to secure 8th. He was not wrong in the chat, and the push happens. Limpar and Rasmussen both going to lose position now. That battle's about over. Let's watch it one more time. That's all it takes in a corner, ladies and gentlemen, is that bit of a nudge to toss that race out. Such a shame because these guys had a great battle through the second half of this race. Tobias Gable in 8th, Roja 9th, G. Steven finishes 10th. That's your top 10 today. See about Green, Loeffler, Rasmussen, Limpar, Scott, Neal, Brewer, Gray, and Demetrius finish out today's Euro Trip race. There's your top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we had some incidents today. That happens. Make sure they get reported to all the guys that were racing. However, we had some fantastic battles today. I think this race went really well. I've seen racing has gotten so much cleaner since this past Sunday. We had a few weeks where things were a little sketch, right? But I think guys are doing really well. To think that you're going to have a 100% clean race is never going to happen. This is sim racing. This is not real life. People don't drive the same, number one. Number two, they're not professional drivers. And I think today's race went fantastic. Your winner, Wisłocki at Paul Ricard. Fantastic qualification, great driving. Laura and Santa Maria right there as well. We saw a great battle between Will Green, Alvarez, and Zbroja. Broja losing it at some point, ending up back in P9, but some fantastic driving through the first half of this race. I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today and being here. Don't forget, you can come back next Sunday. Let's jump over and take a look just so nobody forgets. We're back to Paul Ricard next Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 27th, for a 90-minute endurance race. So what you saw today was a quick preview, but expect it to come back this coming Sunday, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. You can see a lot of the same guys on track, some new ones as well that you didn't get to see today, so it's really going to be a lot of fun. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here today. My name is Adam Thursby. You've been watching Box 3 Motorsports. Join us back here every Sunday for PC racing, and hopefully soon back for Euro Trip racing on Mondays. Thank you.